Good morning, everybody. How's it going? What did you guys do? I showed up like 10 minutes late and somebody broke the market. What happened? Who did it? What happened? Oh my goodness. This is wild. Somebody broke the market. Who did it? That was a fun little dump to open with, huh? It's the first time I've opened and looked at my charts. And this is what I see. My goodness. Good morning, B Frosty. How's it going? You guys can hear me today, right? Yeah? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I know yesterday there was something funky going on with my mic, so just checking. Good morning, Paul. What a wild move at the open. That was fun times, fun times. Well, I had some levels drawn up just from earlier, like high volume nodes, and it's kind of at that region right there. This is definitely not something that I want to try to long right now because that was a pretty big dump. Pretty aggressive. So one of those days that I'll just stay patient, see what we get, see what the market brings us. B Frosty, you said you can hear an echo. Is that a little bit better? Tell me if that made a difference at all. All right, cool. Well, we are getting a bounce. Just wonder if it's going to continue. Like if it was just a big dump and then the rest of it's going to be a move up or what? So I'm kind of glad that we broke out of that range. We were stuck between like 7:30-ish and 8:30-ish over the last 2 days. So it's nice that we finally broke out of that. So it'll be interesting to see if downside is where things are going to continue today, and maybe we'll hit some resistance here around the 730s. It could also retrace the whole opening candle, come back up to point of control, and possibly reject from there. So those are kind of two spots, like point of control area and then like 730-ish area where we've been seeing a lot of support earlier. That's also where VWAP is. So possible spots for a continuation downside after this bounce is over. We'll see though. Definitely going to stay patient today because that was an aggressive move down. It was interesting not even watching the open because I just dropped my kids off at school for their first day and basically just turned on the computer and this is what I saw. I drew up some lines earlier at like 5 o'clock this morning, but that was about it. Haven't looked since. All right, let's start drawing some of our lines. Pretty big bounce up, man. We're coming back up to the top. Coming back up to the open. I wonder how many accounts have been blown already. This is insane. Fun times, you guys. Fun times here. Let's see if it makes it back up to VWAP, which is right at that 730-ish, 740-ish level where we've had some resistance before, or support before, which could turn into resistance. Kind of watching this level. It's funny, the 15-minute opening range high is right at yesterday's point of control. So it could also come back up to the range high before rejecting as well. Let's see if we can find a spot to enter short, possibly. We shall see. How's it going, chat? I kind of got on here right as the market and opened and all the chaos was happening, so I didn't really get a chance to see how you guys were doing. Has anyone taken any trades off of this volatility so far? Definitely a lot of money to be made, assuming you're on the right side of it, because these moves are aggressive. All right, downside is continuing. Looks like that's where we decided to reject. Continuing lower. All right, you guys. I mean, if this thing is going to stay heavy, which guilty until proven otherwise, my next level isn't until like 580-ish. That's the next level that I have marked off. Zooming out. I mean, we do have some liquidity here, some of those, but like high volume node is down here at 580. That could be where we're headed. Let's see if we get an opening range break. Maybe get a little momentum to the downside, perhaps. All right, I'm entering short simply because it's starting to break the opening range. Just a small position because it's already moved down a lot. But according to the levels that I've marked off, we're already kind of getting below this high volume node and we have a lot of room lower. So we'll see. 660.25 is where I entered. Kind of at the bottom of the range. And I'm just going to trail my stop and see how low it makes it. But kind of just a momentum play. The fact that it's been heavy, The fact that it's already below these levels and there's lots of room down. So I'll start trailing my stop pretty aggressive once we move down a little bit, and then 580 is the goal. So it has officially broken outside of the range now. Let's just see if we get some continuation to the downside, or if this is kind of a fake out and then it's going to go back up to the top of the range. Staying with the trend though, and there's not a whole lot of support where we're at. So 15-minute opening range breaks for me and my back testing work really well when you're with the trend and there's no higher time frame resistance or support in the way. So that's what we're going with. So far, so good. The only, I guess, hesitation or unknown for me is where to target, just because 580 seems so low when we've already dropped so much. We've already dropped 100 points, and that's another 80 points. Everyone made their money today and took the rest of the day off, drinking some margaritas on the beach. Are you saying that's why nobody's watching so far? I know, right? Maybe after this trade is finished up and I'm not watching it as closely, I'll go in the Discord and find out. Did everyone go on vacation? I know G-Man's on vacation, but where's everyone else at? Why didn't you share with the rest of the group? You're here losing money. Uh-oh. What happened? Talk to me, Tath. What'd you do? This has been a very volatile open. That's why I'm taking a little mini position here. Because that was a big move to open up with. Super aggressive moves. So looking at my chart, looking at my lines, we did break outside of the range. We're coming back up to retest it. Let's see if we get some continuation to the downside, or if perhaps this is going to be kind of a little fake bounce. I don't love that. Again, zooming out, we do have this kind of liquidity spot right here. But really, the high volume is all the way down here. And man, zooming out, looking at that 1 hour candle, geez. Taking shorts is definitely going with the trend. Holy cow. BM, there you go. You rode shorts on one account and then caught the bounce on the other. Nice. Are you done for the day? Sounds like you caught 2 good trades, 1 on each account. That's good. All right, so it came up, retested that 15-minute opening range low. Let's get some continuation back down. Come on. Well wisher, I love it. You came to the right spot. What's your take on creatine for health? Honestly, I love it when people come ask fitness and nutrition questions. I could talk about that stuff all day. Give me a second though. I'm not ignoring you. I will answer your question. Let me make sure I have my stop loss in place because this is not continuing down. I don't want to make sure we're good. I'm going to put it up above this 5-minute candle. $685 is where I'm going to put it. Again, I'm not super sure about this target because there is quite a bit of liquidity that it can grab before then. It's just a matter of where it's going to bounce. This is where most of the support is though at 580, so we'll see how far it keeps going down. It's got to bounce at some point though. Where is that 15-minute range line? It could be coming back up to retest VWAP if it's going to continue lower. So not sure about my stop loss placement. Honestly, it could get stopped out. And then, yeah. Could have put my stop loss in the wrong place. Or that could have been a whole fake out. 15-minute opening range, fake out. Now continuation to the other side. This price action is nasty, you guys. Jeez. All right, starting to break through VWAP. Had quite a bit of volume behind that candle. Now it's continuing. Continuing back up. All right, I'm going to watch this area right here. Since it's breaking through this New York anchored VWAP, if it comes back up to the session VWAP and starts to reject there, that could be the retracement for a move lower. But I'm going to be patient and wait since I've already taken one loss and actually see how it reacts at that level. Also, since we're about 30 minutes into the open, we can start seeing how this session volume profile is playing out. Sitting at point of control right now. It's at an interesting spot right here. Kind of fighting to get through VWAP and point of control. Is it going to reject or continue higher? Definitely not getting continuation down if sellers are going to take control. At least not yet. I know I'm zoomed into the 1 minute, so that plays a factor too. All right, moving on up. Let's see how it reacts at VWAP. All right, well wisher, back to your question. So I think creatine's great, actually. There's a lot of benefits to it. It's actually one of the most highly studied and tested supplements. I shouldn't say one of, it is the most highly tested supplement on the market, or like that's been made. There's tons of benefits for it. I know I did a lot of my nutrition and fitness coaching with menopausal women. So it's really good for them, especially helping support like muscle as we age and lose muscle and all that. So it can support a healthy metabolism, supports recovery from working out. It can even help, like if you're not working out and you take it, it can kind of help preserve muscle a little bit. Obviously, the best benefits come from if you're actually strength training and then you have creatine within 30 minutes post-workout. You'll get the best benefits if you take it that way. But yeah, there's tons of benefits for creatine. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for, but if you're just asking in general what my thoughts are, there's lots of benefits to it. Hope you're still here. I know it took me a little while to get to your question, but hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, the whole loading and cycling thing, that a lot of recent studies have shown that you don't need to do that. Recent studies have actually shown that you can take more and you get more benefits from taking more than the 5 mgs or whatever the dosage is. I don't know. The number is 5. I don't remember what the units are. So you can actually take more. There's lots of like brain health support. Yeah. The best benefits for post-workout or like helping with your workouts is if you take it within 30 minutes after your workout. And then ideally, don't take it with caffeine. Your body absorbs it better if it doesn't have caffeine with it. So that's another reason to take it after your workout. Like if you take a pre-workout that has caffeine in it, you definitely want to take your creatine afterwards. All right, chopping around this level, deciding if it wants to break above point of control and this anchored VWAP, or reject from here and continue lower. Trying to decide what it wants to do. Ah, man. I took that one short and got stopped out. I'm tempted to enter again since it's rejecting point of control and VWAP. And a lot of times it's not the first break that is the move, but it's the second break. So the second break could be coming. My hesitation is that it's chopping around here, so it could be establishing a base and continuing higher. So I'm going to wait and see if it comes up to VWAP up here. Which means I could miss the move. It could go without me, but we'll see. Lots of indecision here. Do I know why, if you have a trend line, when you change the time frame, it changes the price point where it touches it? I don't know specifically with trend lines because I don't use them a whole lot, but I know something similar happens when I anchor a VWAP. The like mark where the VWAP sits changes if I'm on a different time frame. So I know with VWAP it has to do with the fact that it's based on like the average volume over time. I don't know about the trend line though. Sorry, Be Frosty, wish I had a better answer. Yeah, BM, good point there. Depends on how divisible it is into like a 1 hour time frame, if it's a 2 minute candle or a 3 minute candle or whatever. That makes sense. Well, I'm glad that I didn't re-enter short, because I would definitely be feeling the stress of this position not wanting to have continuation down. It's still stuck below point of control, still stuck below VWAP, but it's like also not continuing down. So just the mental capital of sitting through that chop, I'm glad I'm not in it. It's looking kind of more like it wants to gain some momentum and pop through. Maybe find a new spot to reject from. Unless that was the move and now we're moving up for the day. Unless that was the bottom, we'll see. We'll see if it rejects a VWAP. If not, we can see what happens at this 15-minute opening range high. Good times, you guys. Hopefully everyone's keeping their risk safe, managing their risk well. So far, this range is pretty big compared to yesterday's tiny range. What did yesterday end up being, like 90 points or something like that? What do we have on our hands so far today? Let's measure it. 15-minute high down to the low. We have like 129 point range so far today, and still another almost 30 minutes to go. All right, we are approaching VWAP. See if we have a rejection up there, or if this thing continues back to the range high. I do like the confluence for a possible rejection at the opening range high, if shorts are going to be the continuation for today. Just because that was yesterday's point of control. But there's also a lot of volume behind this bounce. Oh, you guys. It's kind of funny. I know yesterday we were all sitting here like, this is so choppy. I hate price action days like this. And then now, today, we're getting some crazy moves. And I'm like, whoa, slow down here. Give me a chance to figure out what's going on. If you didn't have quick fingers in the first 5 minutes, you missed out on a lot of that move. I know I did. I wasn't even at my computer. So I'm not saying pointing fingers. I'm saying I missed it too. Quick action today. Cheechimus, that's actually a really good question. And yes, it does skew blood tests. My husband's the same way. And we had to like figure that out because he's had kidney issues in the past. And then he started taking creatine regularly, and his blood work came back with creatine numbers that were high or whatever, like outside of the range. And I was concerned, like, what's going on? But yeah, it was just just the creatine. And everything is fine. It's just the creatinine in it. So yeah, it'll change numbers. Go big or go home all kind of day, huh? Go all in. Let's go. Should I switch over my chart to NQ? Change my symbol, NQ? And leave it on 3 contracts? What are we doing, B Frosty? Are we going green or red? Long or short? What are we gonna do? Flip a coin. Let's go. Oh, you're flipping the coin green. Bets on green, huh? Full port Friday, BM. Where are you at? It's Tuesday. Am I missing something? Is today full port Friday? Or are you just prepping for 3 days from now and you're going to be full porting soon? Is that what's going on? Oh, he's a time traveler. Got it. I know you're joking. I'm messing around. It does look like it's kind of, I mean, I hate to say it because that was a huge move down. And I would like to say that shorts are still the play, but this is a pretty big bounce up. I'm not going to like quickly enter a short on any level until we have confirmation that sellers are showing back up, even as we're approaching VWAP here, because there's lots of volume behind this buy up. And I could see us possibly coming through VWAP up to the range high and then rejecting, or I mean, if it goes much higher than that, I could be wrong. And we've already bottomed out for the day. Now we're going to the moon. So, just to be honest with you guys, where I'm at, I am not quite sure. Gonna be patient, wait for reactions at levels. Decent little rejection there at VWAP so far. I'm on the 2-minute chart, so this candle hasn't closed yet. Nothing convincing quite yet. Hey chat, I qualified for a payout with Top 1 Futures. Maxed out on all 3 of my accounts. I haven't requested it yet because I was thinking about doing it on stream with you guys. So maybe later, when things slow down, we're done trading, maybe I'll do that. That would be fun. Then I can maybe like timestamp it too and see how fast the payout actually hits my bank account. Because that's one thing that Top 1 Futures always advertises, is that they have like super fast lightning payouts. I think their average is like 2.5 hours until it's in your bank account or something like that. So it'd be fun to like have it recorded and timestamp it and see how long it takes. All right, so we're still kind of chopping around VWAP. We could potentially take a short here simply because the risk to reward would be good. Like I could really just put my stop loss up above these wicks at like 732-ish. I just feel like that would be a recipe for taking a paper cut because it's not showing signs that it wants to reject yet. I'd rather be patient. My funded futures is quick. Yeah, I've gotten a couple payouts from my funded futures. I think it was, I don't know. I mean, it was within a day. I don't know how many hours, but a half a day or so. Pretty quick. TradeDay, I've gotten a payout from them. Theirs was within a day or so. A lot of them are pretty quick. I think most of the bigger popular ones are pretty quick. I've heard horrible things about like Blue Guardian and a couple other ones like that where it takes like days to get it. That would be frustrating. All right, I'm entering a short. We got a little bit more confirmation that sellers were showing up, and again, the risk to reward is decent. And the trend is still down. I just would love to see a little bit more continuation. That's my only concern. I feel like it's kind of chopping around. $7.11 was where I entered. And we'll see if it comes back to IB low or possibly take it off at 15-minute opening range low. Or see, I mean, if this continuation, like if this bounce higher is going to continue up, this level right here is the one we're going to have to break through. Point of control and anchored VWAP, in my opinion. Stop loss right above that wick at 729. What? My funded futures now does it under 1 second for payouts? Dang. I haven't traded with them in a long time. It's been probably, I don't know, 6 months or so since I've taken a payout from them. And I know they've made some changes to their accounts. That's cool. Oh, well, Westro, thank you for using my code. I appreciate it. That makes a difference for a small YouTuber like me. I mean, obviously, all the big influencers out there have codes with everyone, and their discounts are the same as mine, but a couple people purchasing accounts with my code makes a huge difference when they have thousands of people. So I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you for the support. All right, I guess I should put it back on the fun screen so you can actually see my position. I'll trade my stop loss at least to break even at this point. Did it break through VWAP? All right, so it got past point of control and VWAP. It's kind of starting to bounce there. Let's see if we can get some continuation and actually close below that. That's the main obstacle that I'm seeing, is right here at that 690 level where point of control and New York anchored VWAP are. But so far so good. PW makes $1 million a month from affiliate commissions. Holy crap, you guys. And at least from what he shows on YouTube, he's a decent trader. I can't imagine how much money that guy has. Jeez. That's insane. Yep. That's the spot where it's bouncing. Hopefully this is just a tiny little bounce and then it'll continue lower, but I don't know. I don't like the looks of it so far. I do have my stop loss at break even, so at least I'm protected if this is going to continue higher. But I don't want break even. I want it to go lower. Do you think the market cares what I want? Nope. It does not. Let's go, let's go. That 690 level is where that point of control is sitting. See if we can break through that. I'll put my session volume profile on this chart too, so I don't have to keep switching back and forth. Where is it on this one? All right, bounced up, stopped me out. Bounced off of point of control and VWAP. Quite possibly moved my stop loss to break even too quickly. I still think this is going lower. Still haven't been proven otherwise. Risk to reward is still good. If I enter here, just kind of playing it out, I would put my stop loss above this high volume node around value area high. That'd be about a 17-point stop loss. Let's see if we get some more sellers to show up first. It is bouncing at a key spot right there. Still thinking about re-entering short. All right, so 699.5 is the new entry. Stop loss will be up above value area high. At 717. Yeah, Sasma, you were talking about how PW can be kind of a meanie for no reason. I think that's all for entertainment. I think he does that for clicks and views, and people watch him because he's entertaining. I've talked with at least two people that I like have met in real life at trading boot camps, and I like keep in touch with them on Discord and trading groups and stuff. Two people that I've talked to have said he's actually a really good, nice person, like a nice human in real life. He just puts on a show. I can't verify that because I've never met him. But yeah, he's not very nice on his live streams. All right, I'm glad I re-entered. I was a little bit nervous about re-entering because I didn't want it to be for like tilt. That's why I waited a good 30 seconds before re-entering and just kind of like making sure my headspace was in the right spot. But my initial stop loss was just too aggressive with moving it to break even. There was no reason to be out of this trade. It still looked like it was moving lower. So this, for the second time now, it's breaking below point of control and VWAP. I'd love to see it actually continue this time. If it bounces again, then mentally I'm done with this trade. Even if it goes down, I don't want to be in it. PW is a clickbait a-hole. That's funny. And probably the truth. Oh yeah, when he was mean to me. Yeah. I was watching one of his live streams one time, and I made a comment. I actually meant it as a compliment, but people were asking questions about like, why did you enter this trade, or what's your strategy, or like someone asked kind of an annoying question, like, tell me about your strategy. And he made an a-hole comment like, buy my course, or something like that. And I commented saying like, I'm surprised people come to you for education when it's mostly entertainment. Because I meant it as a good thing because he's very entertaining. And realistically on his streams, he doesn't spend a whole lot of time like going over why he entered here or why he drew this line or like what's going on his charts. He's not an educational channel. He's an entertainer. I don't think people go to like copy his trades. They just want to hear him rant and trash talk. So I meant it as a compliment. And then he went off about like, oh, you're a fit mom trader. You're probably not even fit. You're probably fat. You're probably an obese, blah, blah, blah. And like said all kinds of bad words. I didn't take it personally. I just know that's him like getting clicks. But yeah, he went off on me one time about it. All right. Making a little bit of a lower low on the 1 minute chart. I know that's not significant. Let's see. I'll set my profit down at the initial balance low. I'm actually going to leave a runner because, like I said, the next level really is at that 580 level. That's what I see. So I'll take 3 off here and then kind of see how it reacts at that level. If it starts to bounce, I'll close it out. But if it stays heavy, I'd like to leave a runner on there. I'm back. I just got the red bar of death on my battery and realized my laptop wasn't plugged in. Had to plug it in. Well, dang. Maybe that 530, 580 target was correct. And that line that I had was not the official initial balance low because we still have 2 minutes until it closes. Not too shabby though. Took a loss on the first trade. I realized I didn't have that turned on. Took a loss on the first trade. Was down something like $150. I took a small position on that one. And now I'm back up. Gonna trail this stop loss, see how low it goes. Feels good to like have stuck with my game plan and be entering a good trade. I was a little bit nervous because that was a big bounce. But stuck with the trend, shorts were the play. Caught a nice rejection off of VWAP. Let's see, we have initial balance low right here technically now. And we are starting to get a bounce there. Let's see if this initial balance holds or if we're heading lower down to this next level. Again, I'm not 100% convinced on where the next level is. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. When I pull up the volume profile, this is the next region I see, around like 560 to 580. But we do have all these wicks right here higher as well. So definitely a couple spots we can bounce. I think I'm just going to trail my stop loss and see what it gives me. The lower part of that level I have marked is 560. So let's take off one at 580, one at 560. If it goes, let's see. Did anyone take this short with me? Let me know, chat. Anyone take it? All right, so the initial balance is set. We are technically starting to get a failed auction. It wicked below, and now we're getting a strong buy up out of it. So it looks like it's probably going to hit my stop loss, but that's okay. Possibly a good opportunity if you guys took a long, actually. I didn't want to chase it because stop loss would have to be way down here at 613. That's like a 30-point stop loss. Have a good one, B Frosty. Take care. Oh man, are you kidding me? If this if this continues lower and it just barely wicked me out with my stop loss, that's all right. Okay. I'm actually going to enter long because we are hitting that initial balance, definitely getting a failed auction at this point. 55.5 was my entry. Chasing it a little bit. Really? So, to be transparent with you guys, I traded my funded accounts last night. This is a challenge account that I have up right now. So trading it a little bit more aggressively flipping back and forth. But this is in my setup as far as a failed auction trade. So far, so good. Not expecting it to go to the moon. Maybe just go back to VWAP. Or maybe just get stopped out. You never know. Entry was 55.5. Put that on here. Entered pretty much at the top. Awesome. See if we can get back to point of control. Travis took a short about an hour ago. And did you just get out? So it was an hour long? All right. It's rejecting that 15-minute range low. All right, I'm gonna wait at this point. Looks like it's breaking down below initial balance low. Let's see if it grabs a little bit more of this liquidity over here. Grab some more of this and gets a little bit of a stronger bounce. Or see if it comes all the way down to this shaded region down here at 560, 580. That's what I was looking for. The ellipse. I was trying to draw a circle with it. There we go. I used my circle tool, and to get all of these wicks in there, it like made a circle around the whole thing. That's what I was trying to draw. So hopefully my like waving of the mouse in this area, you guys knew what I meant. All right. So at this point, since the initial balance is set, I'm going to see if it grabs some of this liquidity, gets a strong bounce, and close back within the initial balance low. Possibly look for another failed action, but again, that would be going against the trend. This is nothing but down. Lots of red here. KB trades. So I was in a really good short on a couple of my accounts, actually. I shared one on screen with you guys, and then I had my TradeDay funded accounts too. But I took this short, so obviously was trading with the trend there. The reason I took this long, kind of a dumb move in hindsight, because I chased it a little bit, but it was a failed auction. So I do trade failed auctions with quite a bit of success. It would have been better though. I think the reason I chased it is because I was already in this short, and once I got trailed out on my stop loss, price action was already way back up here at like 645, and that's when I flipped long. So in hindsight, it was definitely a late entry. I should not have done it. But under normal circumstances, I would have entered closer to the initial balance low and could have caught quite a bit of that bounce. Obviously, I wouldn't have entered right at the bottom, but that was a 34-point bounce. So at the very least, I would have entered lower and then would have had a chance to move my stop loss to break even and could have gotten out for zero loss. Or if the initial balance actually held, I could have rode it higher. So that's why I was long, to answer your question. All right, so it did come down and grab some of this liquidity. It's just a matter of how much it bounces from there. I wouldn't reconsider a long until it actually closes back above the initial balance low on probably at least the 5-minute time frame. But it is coming down to this region where there's lots of wicks. Not coming down to the full higher volume region that I was telling you guys about. Yeah, KB trades. That's why I'm kind of being patient at this point. Gonna see how much of this it can grab, or if it can even come all the way down here. Because if you zoom out, all of this chop in this region, that could be the next support at 580-ish. But if it bounces from here, where the bottom of this wick is at like 600, well, it's not bouncing anymore. Now it's coming lower. But if it bounces all the way from here and comes back to the initial balance low, that's a big recovery. So we could have potentially found a bottom at that point. Not betting on it, but just kind of being patient, waiting for it. The next wick I see is right here at 587. Let's see if it grabs that and bounces, or if it comes lower. $23,587 is the low from 811. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm watching. This area of wicks right here, but could come even lower. KB trades, I've been trading not long, honestly, since September of 2024. So it'll be a year in about a month. Still somewhat new. I've taken quite a few payouts though. So far since September, really I didn't take any in 2024. They've all been this year. So this year I've taken about 35,000 in payouts. So, I mean, nothing to like write home about, but decent. Getting the hang of this thing. Min, any trades so far? Yeah, I did. I took a short earlier off of VWAP. Got out here around initial balance low, so hit my profit target in my funded accounts. Took it also in my account that I'm trading on stream. And then I did take a long off the initial balance low with that bounce and got stopped out. So up a little bit on this account, up about 159. And then my funded accounts on those, I'm up about 900. All right, coming down to the bottom of the shaded region that I have at 560-ish. Getting a nice bounce there. Let's see. So what I might do, since that's kind of the region that I was thinking that where it might bounce, I'm not trying to catch a bottom, but what I might do is possibly scale into a position, like take 2 or 3 contracts, something small where if it continues lower, it's just a paper cut. And then if it continues higher and it reclaims the initial balance low, we could possibly add to the position. But I'm going to wait and see how this plays out. So far, that's a decent bounce. Pretty much at the level that I had marked off. So if I got in here, stop loss below there, that'd be like a 20-point stop loss. So gonna enter a small position. And then, like I said, if it reclaims the initial balance low, then I can add to it. Or if I'm wrong, it's just a paper cut. So far, my entry is 84.25. So far, we're getting a decent bounce. Even on the 5-minute, it's looking good so far. It'll be nice if this next 5-minute candle in the next 2.5 minutes closes strong green. And I can protect my risk too and move my stop loss to break even here pretty quickly, especially if it gets all the way back up to the initial balance low. That way, if it gets up here and it rejects and it continues lower, then I'm protected. Or if this thing is gonna remain bullish and bounce from here, like I said, then I can add. That's kind of what I'm looking for, you guys. So far, this 5-minute candle is not finishing strong yet. That was a pretty big rejection there. All right, that stopped me out. All right, I'm gonna take a break from that for a little bit and just kind of see where this thing takes us. What I can do though is maybe request my payout with you guys. Let's see. So if I go here, there's one account. So I'm doing this at 9:50 a.m. Central Time. Let's see how long it actually takes to hit my account, you guys. Oops. Log in again. Go to the second one. $2,500 on the second one. Now you guys are going to be able to spam me. And do the third one. Here we go. 9:50 a.m. was when I requested them. Let's see how long it takes to hit my account, you guys. The request has been made. Still just chopping around this level. You know who's treating us to lunch today? So I wasn't even looking at financial juice just because there was not really any news today. other than like Fed speakers and White House briefing and stuff like that. Trump had an interview on Fox this morning. Was there anything news related that caused this dump, or was it just a much needed pullback? Which I agree, there was a much needed pullback. But was there any news that drove this that I missed? All right, now we're getting that bounce again. Looks like I probably should have just been a little bit more patient. I'm thinking that I might have had the right idea, just entered a little bit too soon. That's all right. I sized appropriately for it. Just should have been waited a little bit more. I'll wait and see if it establishes a little bit more of a base. Or it could also come back up to this area right here is the 15-minute opening range low and New York anchored VWAP. So that's a possible spot if it's going to continue lower. But yeah, definitely looks like it wants to bounce here. I'm debating on re-entering. What would the stop loss be at this point if I put it below that wick low? Not bad. Risk to reward, possibly going up there. All right, I'm trying it again, you guys. Entering long. And gonna see, like, if this is where it's bottoming, it could definitely go a lot higher, like all the way up to the session VWAP or point of control at like 692, but that's a huge move, so I'm not counting on that right now. At this point, I'm just gonna see how it reacts at the initial balance low. If there's a strong rejection there, I can get out, or it could come up to this high at like 660. There's a pretty good spot where it rejected there, and that's also where VWAP is. Slow, slow, slow. The momentum has gone away. Nope, no news. Just a much needed correction. Did the same thing happen on with crypto? Is a lot of stuff correcting today, pulling back? I haven't even looked. Yeah, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff has been pulling back a little bit over the last couple days. So I guess crypto was ahead of the schedule. Well, it looks like I might have been wrong again, you guys. Possibly. Definitely pulling back. All right, guys. I am going to call it a day in terms of trading right there because I'm still trying to catch a falling knife, which is dumb. I've tried it to long twice now, and I got to stop. But what I'm going to do is set some alerts for the initial balance. If we come up there, we could possibly see like if shorts are the continuation play for today, we could reject off of that level and come lower. I'm also going to set one here at like 660-ish because that's where the 15-minute opening range low is, and then where VWAP is currently. Obviously, that'll move as the day goes on. But that's what I'm going to be watching for. See if we reject there and we can take shorts from these levels, or if we're going to start reclaiming some of these levels. But that's what I'm doing today. But I'm going to take a little bit of break since I keep trying to long the bottom, and that's stupid. But up in my funded accounts, I didn't trade these ones on stream with you guys because it's hard to like have too many screens up. But these are my TradeDay funded accounts, and they're all up. So that was good. About $800, $900 on each of those, depending on which one you look at. And then this one, small red, about 122. I took 2 losses with you guys and 1 green, 1 win. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. There's about 27 of you guys on here. Good question. So I took that payout at 9:50, requested the payout. Nope. My email still says that the payout has been submitted, but it hasn't hit my account yet. I'll keep you guys posted in Discord. I'll let you guys know. So if you haven't already, I'm putting the Discord link in the chat. Join the Discord there. I'll let you guys know when the payout actually goes through. See how fast it is. And then also I'll let you guys know if I take any other trades today. But that's about it, you guys. Like I said, if you haven't already, hit that like button. And then I'll see you guys in Discord. Have a good one, everyone.